Hey everyone, it's Arshpreet. Are you tired of the power struggles? The tantrums that seem to come out of nowhere? The backtalk that leaves you feeling like you're talking to a brick wall? You are so not alone. Discipline is one of those things that can make us, as parents, question everything. But here's the thing. Discipline doesn't have to mean yelling, punishments, or feeling like you're losing your mind. In this video, we're diving deep into 5 discipline strategies that actually work. And the best part? They're all rooted in child psychology, so you know they're not just random tricks. They actually get to the root of why kids behave the way they do. We're talking about understanding your child's brain and using that knowledge to create a more peaceful, connected, and joy-filled home. So, if you're ready to say goodbye to the power struggles and hello to more cooperation, more understanding, and more of those sweet, sweet moments of connection with your little one, then keep watching. Okay, let's jump right into our first strategy, which is all about focusing on the positive. This approach can transform not just your child's behavior, but also the overall atmosphere in your home. You've probably heard this one before. Positive reinforcement. It's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but what does it really mean in the context of parenting? But I want to really break down why it's so powerful and how to actually use it in a way that feels doable, even in the midst of chaos. Positive reinforcement is more than just praise. It's about recognizing and encouraging the behaviors you want to see more of. Think about it this way. Our brains, and yes, even those tiny little brains running around our homes, are wired to seek out pleasure and avoid pain. This is a fundamental aspect of human nature. It's basic survival instinct. When we experience something positive, our brains release feel-good chemicals like dopamine, which reinforce that behavior. So when we constantly focus on what kids are doing wrong, don't do that, stop that, how many times do I have to tell you? We're actually feeding into that pain avoidance system. This can create a negative cycle where the child feels constantly criticized. And what happens when someone feels like they're constantly in trouble? They start to feel defeated and may even give up trying to do the right thing. They start to believe that they are the problem. This can lead to a downward spiral of low self-esteem and increased misbehavior. Their self-esteem takes a hit, and they might even start acting out more to get that attention, even if it's negative attention. This is because any attention, even negative, can feel better than being ignored. But here's the good news. We can actually rewire that response by focusing on what kids are doing right, even the little things. This shift in focus can have a profound impact on their behavior and self-worth. Instead of saying, "Stop running," try, "I love how you're using your walking feet." This not only tells them what you want to see, but also makes them feel good about their actions. Or instead of, "Don't slam the door," try, "Thank you for closing the door gently." These small changes in language can make a big difference. It might feel a little strange at first, especially if you're used to pointing out what needs to be fixed. But with practice, it becomes second nature. But trust me, when you start to actively look for those little wins, you'll find them everywhere. And each time you acknowledge them, you're building a positive cycle. And when you call them out, when you acknowledge your child's efforts, you're not just shaping their behavior, you're shaping their sense of self. This helps them build confidence and a positive self-image. You're saying, "I see you, I appreciate you, and I believe in you." These affirmations can be incredibly empowering for a child, and that, my friends, is a powerful message. It's a message that can change the way your child sees themselves and their place in the world. Let's move on to our next strategy, which is all about giving your child a sense of control. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Give a toddler control? Are you kidding me? But hear me out, because this one is a game changer. Think back to a time when you felt micromanaged or controlled. Didn't feel so good, right? It probably made you want to rebel, even if you didn't consciously realize it. Well, kids are no different. They crave autonomy, even from a very young age. When they feel like they have some say in their lives, they're much more likely to cooperate. So how do we do this? By offering choices instead of issuing commands. Instead of saying, "Put on your shoes now," try, "Do you want to wear the red shoes or the blue shoes?" Instead of, "Time for bed," try, "Do you want to read 1 book or 2 books before bed?" Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what if they choose neither option? That's totally normal. Remember, this is a process and kids are still learning. If they resist, you can gently guide them back to the choices. You can say something like, "Those are the 2 choices we have right now. Which one sounds good to you?" The key here is to stay calm and consistent. The more you offer choices, the more your child will understand that they have a voice and that their opinions matter. And that, my friends, is a recipe for fewer power struggles and a whole lot more cooperation. Let's talk about one of the most important and sometimes the most challenging aspects of discipline: staying calm. I know, easier said than done, right? But here's the thing. Our kids are like little emotional sponges. They pick up on our energy, our stress, our frustration, and when we're dysregulated, they become dysregulated. Think about a time when you were feeling really stressed or anxious. Did you make the most rational decisions? Were you at your best? Probably not. And it's the same for our kids. When they're in the throes of a tantrum or meltdown, their prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logic and reasoning, basically goes offline. They're literally not capable of thinking clearly in that moment. So what can we do? We can be the calm in their storm. We can take a few deep breaths, remind ourselves that this is not an emergency, and approach the situation with empathy and understanding. Instead of yelling, "Stop throwing things," try a calmer, more measured tone. "I see you're feeling angry. It's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to throw things. Can you show me how you can be angry with your words?" Now, staying calm doesn't mean we don't set boundaries. In fact, clear boundaries are crucial for kids to feel safe and secure. But it's how we set those boundaries that makes all the difference. When we can communicate our expectations clearly and consistently, without yelling or threatening, we create an environment where our kids feel heard, understood, and respected. And that, my friends, is the foundation for a strong and healthy parent-child relationship. Let's talk about consequences. Not the scary, punitive kind, but the kind that actually help kids learn and grow. We call these logical consequences, and they're all about connecting the dots between actions and outcomes. Think about it this way. When consequences are random or unrelated to the behavior, they feel like punishment. And punishment might stop the behavior in the moment, but it doesn't teach kids why the behavior was wrong or what they should do differently next time. Logical consequences, on the other hand, are directly related to the behavior. So, for example, if a child throws a toy, a logical consequence might be that they lose the privilege of playing with that toy for a short period of time. The key here is to make the consequence fit the crime, so to speak. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what if they don't care about losing the toy? That's totally normal. Remember, every child is different, and what motivates one child might not motivate another. The important thing is to be consistent and to follow through with the consequence. And here's another tip: involve your child in the process. Before you implement a consequence, talk to them about it. Explain why the behavior is not okay and what the consequence will be. This helps them feel like they have a say in the matter and that you're not just trying to control them. Remember, the goal of discipline is not to punish, but to teach. When we use logical consequences, we're giving our kids the opportunity to learn from their mistakes in a safe and supportive environment. We're helping them develop a sense of responsibility and accountability, which are essential skills for life. It's also important to remember that logical consequences should be age-appropriate and reasonable. A consequence that is too harsh can be just as ineffective as one that is too lenient. For younger children, the consequences might need to be more immediate and tangible, while older children can understand and handle more abstract consequences. Another key aspect is to ensure that the child understands the connection between their behavior and the consequence. This understanding is crucial for the learning process. You can use tools like behavior charts or simple discussions to help reinforce this connection. Celebrate their successes and improvements, no matter how small. Positive reinforcement can go a long way in encouraging good behavior. Ultimately, the goal is to build a trusting and respectful relationship with your child, where they feel safe to make mistakes and learn from them. By using logical consequences, you're not just correcting behavior, but also nurturing a lifelong skill set that will help them navigate the world with confidence and empathy. Let's talk about timeouts, or rather, let's talk about a different approach that I believe is much more effective and nurturing for kids' time-ins. Traditional timeouts, while well-intentioned, can often feel like punishment to kids. Being sent away to their room when they're already feeling overwhelmed can actually increase their stress and anxiety, making it even harder for them to regulate their emotions. Time-ins, on the other hand, are all about connection and co-regulation. Instead of isolating a child when they're struggling, we bring them closer. We create a safe and comforting space where they can calm down and process their emotions with our support. So, how does a time-in work? Let's say your child is having a meltdown because you said they can't have another cookie. Instead of saying, "Go to your room until you calm down," try this. "I see you're feeling really upset right now. It's okay to be upset, but it's not okay to scream. Let's go to our calm down space together." Your calm down space can be anywhere that feels safe and comforting for your child. The couch, their bed, even just a corner of the room. The important thing is that you're there with them, offering comfort and support. Once you're in your calm down space, resist the urge to lecture or problem solve. Just be present with your child. Hold them, rub their back, or simply sit quietly with them. Let them know that you're there for them, no matter what. Time-ins might not always be easy, but they're incredibly powerful. They teach kids that they don't have to go through difficult emotions alone. They learn that they can rely on us for comfort and support, even when they're struggling. And that, my friends, is the foundation for a secure and loving attachment. Time-ins also provide an opportunity for parents to model healthy emotional regulation. When we stay calm and composed, we show our children how to handle big feelings in a constructive way. You can even incorporate calming techniques like deep breathing or mindfulness exercises. These practices can help both you and your child to relax and regain control. Engaging in a quiet activity together, like drawing or doing a puzzle, can also be a great way to help your child calm down and feel connected. Remember, the goal of a time-in is not to dismiss or ignore the child's feelings, but to acknowledge and validate them. By doing so, we help our children feel understood and supported. Over time, this approach can strengthen the parent-child bond and foster a sense of security and trust. So next time your child is having a tough moment, consider trying a time-in. It might just make all the difference. So there you have it, 5 discipline strategies that actually work. Remember, discipline is not about punishment or control. It's about guiding our kids towards becoming kind, respectful, and responsible human beings. It's about teaching them how to manage their emotions, make good choices, and navigate the world with confidence and compassion. I hope these strategies give you some practical tools to use in your own parenting journey. Remember, you've got this. And if you ever need a little extra support, please don't hesitate to reach out. Which of these strategies resonated with you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more parenting tips and support. See you next time.